You can manifest money like magic. And this is not a gimmick. I did this. I'm going to share with you today 4 suggestions, 4 exercises, if you will, you can do to start manifesting money just like that. I did this. I started this about six and a half years ago, and boy, did it pay off. I ended up starting a business. It exploded almost overnight. To date, I've personally coached over 7,000 students in my program. And actually, anymore, I don't even do that. I got the money and the time. I have employees who do most of the work for me. The money just keeps rolling in, you guys. I make some really mad cash, and I think you should too. Now, this YouTube channel is new, but I've been around for a while, guys. I've taught this to lots of people. Law of attraction, and I'm going to share some of that with you today. So, everybody knows kind of how to get the law of attraction to start working the way that you want it to. You got to reprogram this. You got to reprogram your subconscious mind. And most of what's going on in there is emotion, feeling. You can use the conscious mind to do visualizations, but the idea is to cultivate an emotional experience, right? Like Neville Goddard said, feeling is the secret. So you're kind of tricking your subconscious mind into believing that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest is already happening right now. And the universe, it doesn't care what other people around you think. It doesn't care what the 3D situation seems to look like. It doesn't care. All it cares about is what you are being. And if you can maintain that internal environment long enough, it has to manifest. Your subconscious mind is so powerful if you just know how to use it. Your subconscious mind is your direct link to the mental universe, the infinite field. And I've talked about this before. The best science that we currently have is pointing inexorably to mind. That's right. Physicists now believe that the universe is mental. And of course, Hermes Trismegistus, one of the great masters, that's exactly what he talked about a long time ago, the mental universe. So think of your subconscious mind as sort of a cable box, and it's plugged directly into that web, that net of infinite potential. That's the universe, God, whatever you want to call that, right? You are literally living inside a living being that wants to interact with you. It wants to play with you. That's why a lot of you watching, you're always getting these interesting number synchronicities. So that's kind of the object of what we're going to talk about today. And these are some things that I did in the very beginning, and they worked. And it didn't take very long for it to start working either. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is using things in your environment, let's just say, to trick your subconscious mind into undoing tired old beliefs that you have about money. When I first started on this, I was very broke. I didn't have enough money for a postage stamp, you guys. I was working a lot, but it was always paycheck to paycheck, always struggling to make ends meet, right? There was too much month left at the end of the money. And so my mindset was, money's too hard to make. I don't have money. That was the big one. I don't have any money. I never have any money, right? That was my big belief. And that's probably your belief too. That's why you're watching this video, and we're going to change that. You know, in the 1950s, movie theater owners did kind of a social experiment to try to trick people into buying more snacks and beverages and stuff at the concession stand. That's where they make a lot of their profits, is at the concessions, right? And they would splice in like a single frame of a Coke. And it worked because it got people to get thirsty or to crave a Coke. They would go up to the concession stand. And so they would just splice it in one frame, like you didn't even notice it on your screen because it flashed so quickly on the screen. Quicker than a blink of an eye, right? Now, a lot of states eventually ended up outlawing that as subliminal advertising or something like that. They didn't like that. You guys can't be doing that because it's like mind control or something, right? But the principle works, guys. So here's what I did. Even though I was very broke, money was really tough at the time, right? I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scrape and scrounge for a month or 2 months, however long it takes, to come up with $100, which at the time was a lot of money to me. Now, $100 is like $1 in my world, right? But at the time, it was a lot of money. And so for about a month, I ate, ramen noodles and soup and stuff like that. And here's what I did. I got my wallet, and all the time I would pull out one of these bad boys. I saved up to get a $100 bill. And if it's really impossible for you to do that, I'll give you some suggestions, alternatives that you can try. But this is what I did because, for obvious reasons, very effective. I can't actually say now that I don't have money. And actually, I wouldn't even keep it in my wallet. I would fold it up into quarters, right? I would fold it up into quarters and keep it in my pocket. So on my lunch break every day, I would go sit down and meditate for about 10 minutes. And then I would put some inspiring music on. We'll get to that part, right? The meditating and the music. It maybe will help you. Again, these are all techniques, but that's what's so cool about this is techniques do work if you understand why they work. That's why I spent about 5 minutes doing a little setup with you today. But this, highly effective. I would meditate for 10 minutes. So back to my lunch break, meditate for 10 minutes, put some inspiring music on, go for a walk. And every couple of minutes, I would pull this out of my pocket and look at it and go, you do have money, actually. You can't actually say that you don't have money because, and again, this was a lot of money to me at the time. This could be groceries. This could be like a really nice bag of groceries, two of them or something, right? Some really good food. I could just go to the store right now, but nope. Don't spend it. You don't spend it. Don't spend your lucky $100 bill. This is a reminder, like the single frame that they would put in the movies of a Coke, a Coca-Cola, right? You are going directly through all that subconscious bullshit that tells you you don't have any money. You're cutting right through that crap and looking very matter-of-factly at the money in your hand and recognizing, yeah, I do actually have money, and quite a bit. This is what I thought was a lot of money, and a lot of you watching, you might too. And I would just keep this thing around and look at it all the time. It's this subconscious reprogramming. Just looking at it and telling myself, yeah, you've got money, right? That's kind of all it takes. You just keep doing that over and over and over again every day, looking at the money and going, you do have money, right? So the $100 bill. Now, some other things that you could do if you really can't get yourself one of these, try this. You can go on the internet and they've got these gold $100 bills. And I'm pretty sure that they have a very light coating of real gold. Granted, it's very tenuous. That's why they're so cheap. You can buy a pack of 10 for like $15 or something. So there's the $100 bills, and they're gold colored, right? And if I'm not mistaken, they have just a tiny little microscopic amount of actual gold goes in there. But here's the thing, gold is valuable. It does have an intrinsic value. And when you hold that gold $100 bill in your hand, you could tell yourself, I've got real gold. How about that, right? And again, it's this subconscious reprogramming that you do have money. You can't actually say that you don't have money anymore. Another thing that you could do is write yourself a check. If you have checks. And if you don't, I've got an alternative. You could just hop on the internet and just type in blank play check. I promise you, you'll find somebody that's got like a printable blank check that you can print off, right? So Jim Carrey, when he was first starting, one day he wrote himself a check for $10 million, right? That was his kind of way of doing this exercise. And at the time, $10 million was believable to him because there's people in his industry making that kind of money on a single movie, right? So if you're going to write yourself a check, make it a believable amount of money, right? So $10 million might not be believable to you right now, but maybe $100,000 is believable. And, you know, if it's your own personal check, you could just put, like in the memo line, you know, a gift from God or a gift from the universe, right? Write the check out to yourself, carry it around. Carry that check around and write it for a believable amount of money. I wrote, this is my business checkbook actually, for my company, right? New World All-Star is the name of my company. And I wrote myself a check payable to Kurt Johnson for, you ready for this? $120,000 a month. $120,000 a month. And I'm not quite there yet, but I know I will. And something that I'm going to be talking about in future videos is intuition and how useful that is, because I've received lots of intuitive hits telling me, yeah, that's going to happen. And I get excited. I get excited about that. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I wrote that check, what was it, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago? And I'm starting to see the setup taking place, right? I can see shifts in my life situation. And let me tell you something, guys. The amount of money I make right now, it ain't too bad. I got enough for 3 employees. I've got 3 employees, right? And my car's paid for. I travel all the time. I eat really good food. I've got a gym in my basement. I mean, I'm doing all right, guys. All right? And you can too. And it all started with this, my first lucky $100 bill. And when you go to the bank, see if you can get a crisp $100 bill. And a lot of banks now, they have those automatic machines. Oh, it smells so good. But just do the best you can. See if you can get a crisp $100 bill. Don't get a wrinkled up old $100 bill. Get a nice, listen to that. Here, put it by my microphone. Oh, listen to that, man. Nice, crisp $100 bill. You can do the check, you can do the gold bill, but I like this because it's real. It's real money. Wow. All right, here's the next thing that I did. So I went to, I think it's called an apothecary. You know, sometimes they have them. There's a really good one over here in Inglewood. So I live in the Denver area, and it's, you know, you could call it the witchy store, I guess, right? The spiritual books and gifts, you know, you go there, there's crystals, and they have tarot cards for sale, tarot decks, and incense, and candles, and little Buddha statues, and books, and, you know, just this kind of stuff, right? And this particular one, they have an apothecary, which I think that's what it's called. But it's where they sell, like, you know, witch's hazel and all these different things for like making potions and stuff like that, right? And they might even have some of this stuff at the grocery store, or you could look online, try buying some online. You don't need very much either, because the first one that I recommend is patchouli. Now, I know patchouli, you don't love patchouli, right? But here's the thing. When you smell patchouli, it's patchouli. You know it's patchouli. But here's what I'm going to suggest, if you can. Get some patchouli and blend it with cedarwood oil, bayberry, and maybe even something else like, I don't know, what's a good one? Cedarwood oil, bayberry, patchouli, I don't know, play with it, right? Find a good blend. And you don't need a lot of patchouli in the mix because it is very pungent. But the idea is it's a scent that's very unique and very noticeable. You're going to remember it when you smell it. And it does smell good, actually, when you blend in these other oils. And then every time that I would use it for something, you know, the oils would kind of separate. So real quick, I would just mix it up real fast. And actually, what I ended up doing was I went to Hobby Lobby, you know, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, those craft stores, and I would get some of those little spray bottles, like an empty spray bottle, and put it in there. That way I could shake it up to mix it up every time and then spray it. And I could spray it on my finger or on my lucky bill. I would spray it on my lucky bill. And another place, my wallet. I would take some and I would put it right here on the spine of my wallet. Right here, I would rub a bunch in there, right? So every time I go to open up my wallet to get some money out to pay for things, I would smell that. And I started using cash a lot too. So before, I would use a debit card to pay for everything. I started going to the bank and taking out cash. And you got to be careful because you don't, I mean, if you lose the cash, you're kind of fucked. That's your whole paycheck, so be careful. But I would take out enough for like what I knew I would need for gas and groceries and, you know, stuff like that. I did have a budget, and I would use cash to pay for things too. Because again, more subconscious. And then I would have this in my pocket, right? And that's what I would do with the oil as far as like how it's going to trigger some visualizations in my daily life. I would spray my money with it. I would spray my wallet with it, right? But here's what makes it work. So every day, and I want you to do this for 28 days. You do it for 28 days, and then you can skip 7 days, and then do it for 28 days again, and then skip 7 days, and then 28 days, okay? So here's what you do. Meditate for 10 minutes, very important. Oh, and before I forget, I've got a free like quick start guide on how to get the law of attraction to work, where I point out how meditating and increasing your consciousness, right, transcending the mind, that's critical. And I don't get like why more law of attraction teachers don't talk about that as much. You'll hear them talk about it a little bit, but here's the thing about the law of attraction, guys. Consciousness, 80 to 90% of your manifesting game is your Zen game. So I'll link down below for you a video. It's like a quick start guide I made. It's like 20 minutes, absolutely free. It's just a YouTube video. But it's how to get the law of attraction to work, where I address that. And like, what exactly is law of attraction? Like, why does it work? How does my body and my mind, how do those things work? Mechanics wise, like, why does it work? How do you do the reprogramming, and why does that work, and how to get started? So it's absolutely free. Really, go watch it, guys. After you're done with this video, you'll have so much clarity on how to get this to start working, how to do the reprogramming, how to increase your consciousness. 20-minute video, quick start guide. Again, how to get the law of attraction to work, down in the description down below. Okay, so every day I would meditate for at least 10 minutes, and I do it now for like 45, right? But all you need to do when you're just getting started, just 10 minutes is good. And after you meditate, take some of this concoction, this oil, right? And put it just a little bit under your nose, right? And you'll smell it. You'll know that it's there, right? And as you're sitting there in this relaxed meditative state, you're going to start visualizing gold coins, $100 bills, money falling from the sky. People, somebody sends you a check in the mail, you open up the mailbox, and you pull out this envelope, and it's a check for $10,000. You know, maybe it's some insurance policy you forgot about, or you paid the tax, you paid your income taxes, maybe too much. You paid them too much. I don't know. You want a sweepstakes. I don't know. A check for $10,000. Wow. And it's like every time you turn around, somebody's giving you things. People are giving you things. People are giving you money. People are buying you things. Visualize yourself starting a successful business. Visualize money and gold coins raining down from the sky. Now remember, feeling is the secret. So you're doing this visualization because you're trying to create a subconscious inner state of abundance, of wealth. And you're doing it with this concoction that you put under your nose. You can smell it, right? As you're doing this visualization. And again, you're doing visualizations to create an emotional environment, right? So you feel the emotion of abundance. You get excited what it's like to have all that money as you're doing these visualizations. Now, as you're going throughout your day, you open up your wallet and you smell your special money blend. And it's going to activate that subconscious programming that you're doing, right? So 28 days on, 7 days off, 28 days on. And guys, never give up. If I told you you could manifest $1 million, $10 million, and all you had to do was do these practices for 24 months, and I know that sounds like a long time, but again, I'm the law of attraction teacher that's going to give you the straight dope. And think about it. All you have to do is wait 2 measly years to get $10 million? Sign me up for that shit now. It could take 6 months. I don't know. Whatever your goals are. And again, your goals could be $100,000. But my point is, never give up. Be consistent, guys. Work this practice into your daily life. Now, the last couple of things I want to talk with you about is daily money gratitude and getting excited about abundance when you see other people experiencing abundance. You know, People have all these negative attitudes about money. Not just that I don't have any money, money is too hard to make, yada, yada, but also stuff like money is bad. People tell me this all the time. Kurt, you should be giving away your services. You're charging money. Why? I like money. I like what I'm doing. The two form a winning combination. And you can do that too. You know, the Bible says love of money is the root of all evil. And somehow that got changed to money is the root of all evil. Don't you think it's interesting how that gets taken out of context? Oh yeah, money is evil. That's not what the Bible says, guys. So people have these negative attitudes about money. Guys, money is just energy. It's just a medium of exchange. Think of money like the blood of the economy, right? That's all it is. The problem is greed, guys, and that's exactly what the Bible meant when it said love of money is the root of all evil. I agree, greed is evil. And greed is lack, by the way, and that's part of the problem. So we're not going to say anything bad about money ever again, and we're not going to be greedy. Love money, guys, but don't be greedy. Appreciate maybe is a better word. Money. And money will appreciate you back. So practice daily money gratitude. Get excited when you see other people making money. When you see someone win the lottery, or when you see somebody who is successful in business, you got to think to yourself, yeah, all right, I'm not so excited. Get excited when you see people with money. When you see somebody driving a nice car, tell yourself, good for them, man. Right on. You know, most people who make a decent living and have a lot of money, they're self-made, guys. Most of the people who have a lot of money were not given their money. And by the way, almost all of the people who are given money, they don't spend it very wisely. You know, all these people that win the lottery, most of them, that money's gone within a few years. Or, you know, somebody that received an inheritance or something like that, right? So again, it's not even true that rich people are spoiled. You usually got to do something for it. And you got to be smart with your money. So again, when you see somebody who is successful driving down the street in a Bugatti or a Mercedes, go right on. Give them a thumbs up and get excited about the prospects that you are going to have a lot of money someday. And remember, if you're going to have a lot of money someday, you have a lot of money right now. That's really how this works, you guys. It works in the now. Have a good day, guys.